Do you know how easy this is for me? Do you have any fucking idea how easy this is? This is a fucking joke. And I'm sorry you can't do this. I really am, because I wouldn't have to fucking sit here and watch you fumble around and fuck it up.
With so many games out there, it can be really daunting to get new people into them. Then came It Takes Two, which exploded into popularity as this totally fun co-op experience for people to introduce that newbie in their life to gaming. I wanted to see if this was true, so I reached out to the one gaming noob I've known for pretty much my whole life, my sister.
I am the sister. I also played It Takes Two, so yeah, so please don't cut me together to sound like an idiot.
Oh, I will. I mean, I know you have some experience with games.
Oh, I have no experience with games. Okay, well, let's... Alright, so The Sims.
And?
I'm sorry, is there an and? No.
Yeah, wow. I really failed you as a brother. Anyways, let's break down how It Takes Two holds up from the point of view of two people with totally different levels of experience. At its core, it's a platformer with puzzle elements. You jump around the level trying to figure out which buttons to press. What sets It Takes Two apart is there's a really huge emphasis here on teamwork. Normally, even in a co-op game, one person can kind of just carry everything and just do it themselves, while the other just brings up the rear. Here, for better or worse, you have to act as a team, with puzzles requiring both of you to complete them.
You actually do need two people. I know, it's aptly named. You can't just do it by yourself, you have to do it with a buddy. So like solving puzzles was fun because it's two brains together, but it was when you actually have to do two things, one per each person, to make something work. So whether that's pushing a cart up a hill or turning a key so that it'll actually go around, you need two people's weight. Or like you would press a time button and I would do a teleport button, because you can't do it just teleporting or time.
Since I've played a few games in my time, it was generally easier for me to navigate everything and figure out what needed to be done and how. Because of that, I went into It Takes Two with the sole purpose of just dunking on my sister. This was achieved pretty much right away, and it was actually really funny.
No, it wasn't.
Since it was clear she was unfamiliar with even WASD movements. Once that novelty wore off, I basically took on the role of a Sherpa, acting as a guide, trying to break down controls and instructions into simple rhythms.
Spacebar, wait, spacebar.
The controls aren't easy to wrap your head around if you don't have experience.
I think one of my complaints was, but I'm not left-handed. I know, because you have to use like the E and the F and the D keys. And I was like, but those are my left hand. Like jumping was a new thing. We had to figure out the space shift, and I kept forgetting where the shift and the control buttons were. So from my perspective, it was like a learning experience. From your perspective, it was, I think, patience.
I'm sorry. Are you done playing with me yet?
But once you lowered the graphics and got a better handle on the controls, there was a lot to enjoy here.
Yeah.
The visuals are amazing, with some of the most creative levels I've seen in any game. Of course, working together to tackle certain puzzles was a lot of fun, and the fact that there really never was any elements of competition with each other was a refreshing way to keep us on the same team.
Jump. No.
Yeah, you gotta wait till it's on the sticky side.
Isn't this is the sticky side?
No, that's the sticky side.
Yeah, so it's hard to pick one favorite moment, but I think just the anticipation of the next world was always a favorite part, because you never knew what environment was going to hit you next. You never got bored of anything for more than 5 minutes. And it was like a whole bunch of different kinds of puzzles that you were solving too. It wasn't always the same one. So there were some puzzles that were easier to do from just like I went to kindergarten perspective, and then others that had a lot of the space jump thing that I wasn't so great at.
However, on the flip side, there are more than a few frustrations to be had here. While the game is fun together, it can be a little tedious when you're working apart. There are many moments where you are forced to split up and can't progress without each of you completing an individual task. If that task is too tough, then I would just have to stand around and wait until my sister could figure it out, because I was in a different city and couldn't do anything about it. It was times like this I wish there was a let me do it feature, or an option to skip a puzzle after so many tries or so much time had passed. But other than that, it wasn't too tough, right?
No, it wasn't too hard, but like I said, you need a buddy. Like if you're two people who have never played a game before in your life, you're gonna need someone standing over your shoulder telling you what the controls are doing. Like, you need at least one experienced gamer to get you into this. You can't just go from solitaire to It Takes Two. There's a slight learning curve.
But even then, it was sort of hard for me to just not take over at times.
Blow this up.
Okay, jump back on that little platform. Gaming literacy is super important here. Things that gamers just know because they've been playing a lot of games, like how red barrels always explode, or certain things can just be trampolines because. Even though the game does give you clues about what to do, it isn't always obvious, especially in high pressure situations like boss fights. But even after just a few sessions, I feel like my sister did get a lot better.
I mean, it also helped once we lowered the resolution. So a little background story here. I'm not working on a gaming laptop, right? And I'm pretty sure I have to replace the E key on my keyboard. And I think that sort of held me back at first because everything I wanted to do was slightly delayed. So it was harder to learn how to do the controls. So I think just figuring out all those little things was my least favorite part of it because I felt like an idiot. And I also felt like I was letting you down, right? Because for 10-15 minutes you're standing on the other side of a ledge like, it's space shift.
Exactly. In the end, It Takes Two surprised me. It was a truly cooperative game unlike any other I'd played before. We had some surprisingly funny moments together, and while it wasn't overwhelmingly challenging for me, I still found it super interesting with all of its gimmicks and vibrant levels. Overall, I was thrilled that we could actually have something to play together that wasn't just comparing the lives of our different Sims or wizarding schools. I think It Takes Two really manages to live up to the praise of being a game that can be enjoyed by any level of skill.
It's a pretty solid game. I think it's for a lot of age levels too, which is super fun. I mean, you can be 12 and super enjoy it. You can be 60 with your girls on a night. Yeah, I think it's a super versatile game in terms of its audience.
I really feel like this is a game people can pick up to get others into gaming.
I think it kind of does. You know, it's kind of like a fun introduction to a world I may not want to explore in its entirety, but at least now I know I like that little corner of it.
I hope they figure out a way to make more because games like this only help to bring more people into the medium. I mean, you'd play more games like this, right?
If you find them for me first. Sure. But yeah, no, I'd play a game like this again.
Now I think you're ready for something like maybe Outriders?
I disagree.
Anyways, this is definitely something worth checking out, and I hope that we get to play more games like this together in the future.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, that was fun.
For some of us.
If you're ever wondering where the 1 like comes from, that's me. I'm glad to have made a cameo today. I'm playing games good now. I learned.
Yes, that's it. And thanks for playing.
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two. Thanks for leaving that 1 like, and thanks for letting me talk gaming with you.